Hey everybody, welcome to Cult Fiction. We're going to be talking about a couple things today. The one thing that's really cool and one thing that I think we've decided is really not cool. Uh, we're going to talk about X-Men 97, the finish of the series. Season 1 is now complete, so we're going to be covering that. We're also going to be talking about Madam Web, which is now available on
Briefly.
Netflix. Briefly, we're going to be
Briefly.
very briefly talking about Madam Web. But first, Eric has a couple of new comics that he wants to tell us about. I don't even know what they are. I haven't heard anything about this yet.
Okay. Yeah, so I got these this week just for shits and giggles through Whatnot auctions and eBay and stuff. So this is Uncanny X-Men 333. This is the first appearance of Bastion. So topical.
Wow.
Topical.
All right.
You
I think I
know,
have
since
that
we're
one.
talking,
Now I have to look it up.
you might.
That's
Might.
cool.
It's got Gambit on the cover, and
I
you.
think I might have it because of that. Only because of that reason.
Right.
Okay, this one is about to trip all you guys out because we did not talk about this before, and we just had a conversation. And this is Iron Man 120, the first appearance of Justin Hammer, as
Nice.
played by Stockwell.
Nice.
For those that don't know, before we got on, we were talking about Iron Man 2 and about how Justin Hammer was dope and Sam Rockwell was dope and everything. And I'm sitting here the whole time going, I got the fucking first appearance of Justin Hammer sitting right next to me.
That's awesome.
And we had no.
I personally think Sam Rockwell is one of the most underrated actors in all of Hollywood, and I also think Justin Hammer was like the greatest Iron Man villain in history. That's just my opinion. Okay, go ahead.
I hear he's coming back for that Armor Wars show with Don Cheadle.
Oh, okay, cool.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got Fantastic Four 47 from February 1966. This is the second Black Bolt and first Maximus. So this is very old. This is hells of old. So I had that first Black Bolt, and then I had an opportunity to get the one that later. So I have now I have Fantastic Four 46, 47, and 48 is the first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus, and of course I have that and signed by Stan Lee and everything. Jubal and Alex were there for that. Speaking of Heralds of Galactus, in my quest to get those, first appearance of Frankie Ray as Nova. So that is Fantastic Four 244. So that is one. And Fantastic Four 211, first appearance of Terrax.
Oh, sweet.
And then I noticed something when I was on this one. I was like, oh, October 79. That's the month after I was born. So I said, shit, might as well. So then I got Fantastic Four 210, which is the month I was born.
There you go.
Well, I'm glad I didn't buy that for your birthday, Jake.
That's awesome.
But I'm glad I didn't buy it for your birthday.
I actually got this for an outstanding price. Like I sniped an auction. I got this for like less than if I were to get it slabbed myself. Like literally.
Oh wow!
I think I got it for $20 and then 15 shipping.
Wow!
So I got it for 30. So I could not have beat this.
That's basically free.
Yeah, this was insane. So I had to on that big time. I just sniped that at the end of some auction. So
that's
cool, what I got. That was like this week's.
Good stuff.
So, and there'll be more next week.
More next week. Good. We're looking forward to it. Let's do a quick our quick uncool of the week. Madam Web. I think out of all of us, Joe is the only one who watched the whole movie, right? I got 15 minutes into it and turned it off. I just can't. I'm sorry. There's other things to do in the world. Like I would rather do dishes than watch the rest of that movie. That girl, Dakota, whatever her name is, She's a terrible actress, and whoever played the villain, the Tahir Rahim guy, he was absolute dog shit. Whoever wrote the dialogue is a garbage person, and it's the special effects were trash too. So I'm sorry. It was a bad movie. I saw 15 minutes of it. That was all I needed to see. Anybody didn't? So nobody besides Bueller watched any of it, right? You three didn't see any of it?
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Right. Okay. Bueller, rant.
I don't even know where to start with this piece of shit, to be honest with you. But like, so my girlfriend wanted to. She brought it up because she knows that I watch all the Marvel stuff, and I've gotten her into it too. She's like, "Oh, I heard Madam Web's out." And I'm like, "Oh, you probably got to rent it." She's like, "No, it's free." Sure as shit, there it is on Netflix. And like, streaming has been pretty slow this month, so I was like, "Fuck it, put it on." A buddy of mine from work went to go watch it just for the memes. He saw it on opening day, and he came back with his head in his hands, dude. Like, he wasted his money and his time and everything else. And but he still said he liked it more than the Eternals and Morbius, which surprised me. Because I don't like Eternals. I thought Eternals was boring. But I didn't
think it was bad.
Yeah, like, does that make sense? I thought it was boring.
It was a little slow, but it wasn't bad.
Morbius was bad, but I still got like I got a minuscule amount of entertainment out of it. This fucking movie had nothing. Had zero redeemable qualities about it. Even the fact, and I didn't expect my girlfriend to understand this, but like 3 times during the movie, I'm like, why, guys, back me up on this? Would you fucking hire Sydney Sweeney to be in your movie and dress her like that? She's like one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood at the moment, and everybody's fawning over her. And you got to dress like a fucking librarian, dude. Like a librarian that's wearing a Velma costume that's not a sexy one. And like, I'm not trying to base the whole movie review on sex. That's not what it's about. But I'm like, you have Sydney Sweeney. Why not use that to your advantage? Nah, fuck it. Put her in a cardboard box. Put her in the background. It's fine. And then 4 minutes and 11 seconds into the movie, 4 minutes and 11 seconds into the movie, I was fucking done with it. Because that's when they go through this whole thing. They're in the jungle. They're looking for this spider. They tell you nobody's ever seen this spider before. Of course, Dakota Johnson's character finds a web. They aren't sure if it's the web. And it's like, and the guy, the bad who ends up being the bad guy is like, well, nobody's ever found it before. And it's like, oh, well, look, I think I found its web and blah, blah, blah. At 4 minutes and 11 fucking seconds into the movie, Dakota Johnson's character, her mom's character, comes running up with a jar. And she's like, I found it. Bitch, what? How the fuck did you've been in the jungle for 3 hours and you found this fucking spider that nobody's found for over a cent? Go fuck yourself. And then when the bad guy when she's like, look, I found it. So then that's 4 minutes and 11 seconds in. So maybe 4 minutes and fucking 22 seconds in, the bad guy does the most cliche bad guy shit of all time. It looked like it fell out of a movie in the 40s when he pulls his fucking clunky ass gun out and shoots their 2 guides in the back so he can hijack the spider. It felt dumb. It felt like a parody. It felt like a skit on SNL. It didn't feel like a real movie at all.
It did. It felt
dumb.
fake. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was so dumb. And then you have all the spider people that are like the legends of the fucking forest that come out to save the fucking pregnant mom who just got shot. And so then you have Dakota Johnson who's born, and that's how she gets her powers, because they try to save the mom with the super secret spider that nobody's ever seen that fucking bites her in the chest, but the mom dies anyway. Dakota Johnson's born in the water, whatever. When did they send her back? They sent her back. So she's born in fucking Peru to these jungle people that don't have any civilization whatsoever, but they put a fucking FedEx tag on her ass and sent her back with all of her shit to have her in a foster home. She still has all of her mom's research papers and stuff. She was a baby in the fucking forest in the Peruvian jungle, but they sent her back with all of her mom shit somehow. All right, fine. Let's go ahead and just shelve all of that. Whatever. What's her superpower? She can see the future. She can't fight. She's not bulletproof. She can't really do anything meaningful, but she can see the future. That's a superpower. Okay, cool. She rescues the 3 girls.
For whatever legs, you can't see that coming.
Right.
What's that?
Except for whatever takes her legs.
Yes. No, exactly. So she goes to rescue these 3 girls who are getting chased by the bad guy because they supposedly kill the bad guy in the future, and he can see the future too. Who, by the way, he somehow managed to keep this crazy fucking the one spider that was in a jar. He kept alive until Dakota Johnson's in her 20s. What spider lives a fucking quarter century? I don't know. This one, and he has it in his own terrarium. And he's got this whole like mastermind complex set up where he has like eagle's eye going on and he can see everything that the CIA can see. He's like the NSA in his own living room. That's all dumb too. Dakota Johnson kidnaps these girls. She's driving around in a busted ass taxi that she fucking stole. It's obviously busted. She's driving around New York. There's an APB out for her with these 3 girls that she kidnapped, but nobody notices a busted ass taxi driving around. Okay, fine. It's all movie stuff, whatever. Then she ditches the girls, who of course run away and end up at a diner. She has a vision of the girls at the diner getting killed by bad guy, right? And in her vision,
are you going to go through the whole movie? Is this going to
no? I'll wrap up here real quick.
Okay.
She has this vision of the girls in the diner that she walks to. This is supposed to be real life. Like, oh, so I better not walk. I better take the car. The car takes her fucking longer to get to the diner than it did for her to walk in the previous vision. That's when my girlfriend started yelling at the TV. Why is it taking you longer to drive there than it did to walk there previously? That makes fucking no sense. No, the worst part about it is they shot a fucking helicopter down with a firework. Fuck you. Fuck you. They fucking shot a helicopter down with a fucking firework. And they shot through a brick wall with a firework. 4th of July firework, dude. They were in a fireworks factory. They shot down a brick wall and a helicopter with a firework. Go fuck yourself. Dakota Johnson loses her eyes. The bad guy who got hit by a car and got hit by a flying ambulance somehow dies because a Pepsi sign fell on him.
Spoiler.
Yeah, big spoiler. She drives a fucking ambulance out of a parking garage in the air, hits the dude, launches him 200 feet, doesn't kill him. Pepsi sign fell on him. Dead. Dead.
Yeah.
I'm super glad I didn't finish it. Sequel. Yeah. That movie was bad. Sorry.
Yeah, and then she comes out like Professor X in the end because for some reason she goes blind and loses her legs. I still don't understand why, but
whatever. Fuck that movie.
That movie's fucking terrible. It's the worst movie I've possibly ever seen. It's
Garbage Town. It was bad.
She was going to be a franchise.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
No, they killed their franchise.
It's terrible. Okay, let's put that away.
I just got asked if I was talking about Madam Web because I was being super loud.
Right. Yeah. Not anymore. We're not going to talk about that shit anymore. Now we're going to talk about something good. X-Men 97. We're going to talk about X-Men 97. Now, somebody said, Remember It, which is, I think episode 5 was nominated for an Emmy.
So supposedly it's not nominated yet. It's been submitted for consideration.
Okay.
Emmy. I guess the whole series is being talked about for an Emmy Best Animated Series, but that specific episode has also been submitted for consideration.
Okay.
I guess cool. I guess it's how it works. The studios will submit their work, and then it'll get reviewed and stuff like that.
Right on. All right. So spoiler alert: if you haven't finished the first season of X-Men 97 yet, we're definitely going to be spoiling some stuff going forward. So let me go first. I just want to say. Remember It, I believe, was the name of episode 5, which could also be called fucking Gambit Goes Ham. I really liked that episode. It was dope. That was a hell of a way to go out. Eric has something to say about something that we might have missed also in after the credits scene that I didn't see, that he told me about, that he'll cover when it's his turn, that has to do with Gambit, and I think that's interesting. But I want to say that there was one thing that I didn't understand, but I still liked the last 3 episodes, the Tolerance's Extinction series, miniseries, right? But I don't understand, and maybe somebody knows this, why Professor X was even out in the cosmos trying to marry Bird Queen in the first place. Like, what was keeping him out there? Why didn't he come home sooner, I guess, is what I want to know, right? That was like,
I think it maybe was a continuation from the series in the 90s.
From the original series, right? Okay, because it's like, it just seems like they left that thread hanging out there, and it was kind of weird, but whatever. I'll take it. I'll accept it. I thought Magneto was the best character in the season by far. I thought he was amazing. And I really liked how they wrapped it up. And I'm going to pass it to Eric.
Oh, okay. Did you guys watch the after credit scene?
I missed it.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah.
Okay, and the one with them back on Genosha?
Yep, I saw it.
Okay. So, anyway, what Jubal's talking about is there was an after credit scene, which I felt like the way they did it, a lot of people could have missed it, because on my screen, at least, it went to like watch the credits, and I clicked it, and then the scene came on, and I was like, I don't know how many people could have missed that if they didn't, which I think a lot of people did.
Right.
So anyway, it was Apocalypse in present day Genosha, kind of kneeling down. He was picking up some dirt, and he was like, my children, all this pain, and the dirt was falling through his fingers, and then exposed was a playing card, and he said all this death. And I think that is, and I'm sure Bueller will tell you, is saying that Gambit's probably going to come back as the Horseman of Death for Apocalypse, because at some point, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic books, he was the Horseman of Death in like Age of Apocalypse. So my theory would be that next season is them fighting, or doing whatever they have to do in the two timelines that they're in, while trying to get back, while in present day Apocalypse is creating the Age of Apocalypse and kind of combating a new host of X-Men, whether that's like Shadowcat and Forge and Bishop and Colossus and whoever they can ragtag together, and then everybody's going to have to come back and help defeat Apocalypse at the end or whatnot. But I would say that scene was to set up that Gambit's going to be back. Would you agree, Bueller?
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, there was people after Remember It wondering if he was going to come back as Death, even though there wasn't like a clear path for him to do that. But they set it up cleanly to do that with Apocalypse showing up in the post-credit scene, especially picking up his card and saying Death specifically. Like, I can't imagine them doing that and then not doing
right. Why would they do that if that isn't what's going to happen?
Yeah, so I'm with you. I think they're doing the Age of Apocalypse storyline. They're going to do the Four Horsemen. Gambit's going to be the Horseman of Death, which will be. I mean, it'll be interesting. That storyline has mixed reviews, but it'll be cool to see Gambit come back. I'm a huge Gambit nerd, as you can see from my toys up here, and so Remember It. I'm super biased with that episode, but I'm really glad to hear that so many other people liked it. I've been kind of like with Gambit wondering where his powers are limited. What could he do? What, like, if he really pushed himself, how hard could he charge something? And I think that episode pretty much answered it. Like, he could blow up a building, but it's probably going to kill him. That was his last act of heroism, which I thought was really cool. And I thought the tribute they gave to him in episode 6 with Nightcrawler was dope. And, Rogue just turning into a woman on a mission for vengeance was super cool. I like the service that they've given Gambit this season, just because I'm a huge fan, but also it's been really well received from what I see all around in the fandom. So that's cool. And it'd be a waste of a character to not bring him back with that foreshadowing. With that being said, I had to break this out for this show. Ended up getting these bad boys. Yeah, I tried to get a second pair today. I like the back of these where it looks like the logo's charged.
Oh,
that's nice.
It's got I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it's got like a Gambit inside there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried to get a second pair today. They're all sold out. The Wolverine shoes, oddly enough, are available at the local Foot Locker, so I might pick one of those up tomorrow. But yeah, I'm a Gambit nerd, and even after he died, even after he died, and the service they had for him and all that was really cool moving forward. And then they get into the Tolerance is Extinction miniseries. Magneto, I'm team Magneto. Like I said last week, I'm just like, man, watching this, it's just, maybe it's because we're older now, but watching this, I'm just like, they're really making the people suck, dude. Like, kind of got to side with Magneto. Like,
yeah, humans are kind of being real dicks in this show.
Yeah, they're kind of douchebags. So
but like Eric has said, man.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, go into it, man. Do it.
Yeah, I think they do that, but also I think what people often overlook is how many of these episodes start with like mutants like killing large swaths of humans, like destroying a bank or a building. And as far as like humans know, like regular everyday humans, the only mutants that help them are like 6 or 7 mutants from upstate New York that come and help them like diffuse a situation, right? Every other mutant is killing human beings,
Right.
as far as they're concerned. They're either hiding underground or like the Morlocks, or they're killing humans. And then like some nice mutants come along every once in a while and help them.
Right.
That's it. That's and the reason why I think Magneto is specifically to blame and is like a super dick is, for one, he's a mutant supremacist. So he's kind of like, he's become Hitler. So he either wants to subjugate humans or kill all humans. And he's passable, right? So like the only people who have ever fucked with Magneto for being a mutant is because Magneto has done something to them. No one's ever gone up to Magneto and like beat him up for being a mutant, because they would have never known he was a mutant.
Right, like
unless
Nightcrawler.
he's right, exactly. Like think about like from the First Class Azrael, which is the other, like the guy who looked basically like the Blue Devil. Like while Magneto was going around passing as a human, he was letting people like Azrael get like the brunt of the human, fear, and like, ooh, what are those guys? Blah, blah, blah. The people who are all hairy and fucking got, who look like Azrael, like Blue Devils, the people were scared of those guys. And then Magneto's kind of like the fucking Kermit meme, like business, until he gets powerful enough that he could just kill large swaths of fucking, and this whole thing like, oh, they're evil. And I get it. People are like, well, but he was in a concentration camp. And yeah, I don't mean to downplay that, but why do humans get to be piece of shits because Nazis were piece of shits, but we don't get any credit for like all of the like Americans and the British and the French that probably saved him from the concentration camp. Like I get Nazis suck. Agreed. We all agree. But what about the Americans and the French and the British guys who liberated you from the concentration camp? You don't get to go, wow, maybe there are nice ones after all. Maybe there are good humans. There's none of that? No, you just gotta fucking subjugate them all. And he coined the term homo superior. He is a supremacist, So it's like that's the part of the conversation that gets left out of the conversation. He is, people have this dichotomy of like, well, really it's like white people and black people. And it's like, is it though? Because are you going to have this conversation about like black people just killing large swaths of white people? Is that where we're like, because that's what the mutants are doing. Right. They're just destroyed an entire city. Like the first episode was Sabretooth just like ripping a vault door like off of a bank and like throwing people's cars while people were inside of the car. At some point, these are going to be like, what do we do about people who can lift cars and throw them? I don't know. Make robots that can fuck them up, because we don't have powers. They have powers. We have human ingenuity. Like that's all we've got. So while some of the humans are legitimately dog shit, aka Nazis, there are like good people, aka the Americans, the British, the UK in that analogy, that are just like, we're just trying to like not die at the hands of, by the way, Magneto's group called the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I'm not even trying to freaking hide it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like at some point, it's on you, dog, that they hate you a little bit.
So you're saying maybe there's
A little bit.
maybe there's not as much moral equivocation here as it might first appear, is what you're saying. All right. So
Yeah.
with that viewpoint on the table, we go now to Gus, who clearly has prepared for this segment with his craftiness.
Very prepared. Very prepared. I made a special Magneto helmet for the occasion. I have to say, took me about 35 minutes. Not bad.
Does it work? Does it actually block psychic powers?
Does it protect your mind from psychic intrusion?
Well, no, it fully does. It fully does. It not only protects my mind from like the weapons that the humans have made to control us. It helps me project my mutinous.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Excellent.
It's
Put the
camps
for
yourself.
put the human in the camps first of all. We got to band together. We got to band together because you know, hey. Now I have nothing to offer for this at all. I tried to watch it so many times. And so many times.
So wait, you got a hat, but you didn't even watch the series?
No, I couldn't. I like every time I would turn it on, I'd be like, it'd be like I understand the kryptonite. I understood, like I never understood kryptonite from Superman. And then like every time I try, and I'd really be, I'd like psych myself up, be like, okay, dude, you can get, and it's like every time I'd like turn it on. Oh.
I don't even know what that means.
I just couldn't do it. And then like the day before, I was like, okay, I'm gonna find some clips. I'm gonna find a recap. And I'd like do, and I'd be like, oh, and I feel like my soul being like wrung out like a wet towel. I'm like, oh.
So you can't get into the animated stuff, but you're down for Magneto. That's what we're.
You know what? I like the character. I liked it enough to be Magneto for the podcast. You know, like I get it. Like I got it. No, you know, especially too.
Right.
Like, I mean, like not to get all psychological or whatever, but dude had a bunch of trauma, right? He didn't sort it out. All that bad shit got bottled up. He became a son of a bitch.
Yeah,
that's a good summary of the entire series, right there.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
I mean, like that's what happens. That's why people need to like handle their scandals and shit, and like why you can't go around being an awful person to people for no reason at all.
Right.
Yeah, like you know, misery creates more misery and suffering and shit. And you, like humanity can be a plague.
You should have just let it out little by little as he was going throughout his life, instead of in one massive.
Murder one person a day, rather than like save it up for a year and then destroy a city. You know, I get it. It would be better.
So that's my thought.
All right.
Sorry.
Noted. Duly noted. Mr. Alex, do you have something you'd like to say here about the series? What did you think about it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Awesome.
Well said.
I mean, most of what I said in the half when we reviewed it like halfway is still, you know, pretty much the same. It's like, I mean, for what it is, it's, you know, it's essentially a Saturday morning cartoon, but it has a little bit of depth to it that most Saturday morning cartoons do not. You know, it's still, even in this series, my favorite thing about the X-Men still remains to be the relationship between Magneto and Professor X. And that was done really, really well in this series too. It's like I've always enjoyed how they clash and how they're both, you know, respectful of each other and they're both intellectual about it, but they both have, you know, very, very different views. And it's just a really compelling kind of hero and villain relationship that you don't see very often. Right. There's so much, you know, immense respect and even like love for each other, but they just, you know, they can't reconcile their ideals. And overall, I mean, there are a couple of negatives I had. Of like when Jubal mentioned about Professor X being in space and everything. I don't know. and I've talked about this before, but a lot of times with X-Men and other series, the further they go into space and away from the planet, the less interest I have. Like I'm not interested in the Shi'ar, all these
Right.
space galactic battles and stuff like that. Sometimes in some series it can be fun, but just generally it's not my thing. And so I wasn't, that's not my jam. And so when they get back into the reality of like the Earth and the extinction series, that's what I was enjoying the most. It kind of felt like a couple times they made it seem like they were going to do something and then they didn't. Like, he stabs Magneto and you think maybe, I don't think he's going to die, or maybe he's going to, quote unquote, die and then come back a little later. But the big thing was it looked like they were going to pull out the adamantium from Wolverine and do that whole thing, and they kind of didn't. And so it kind of felt like, like a little bit of tease that didn't pay off.
Yeah, I don't think it was clear, like the extent of damage that Magneto did to Wolverine. I don't think was clear because there was a flash there of like,
yeah, like there's a storyline in the comic where he just tears all of the adamantium out of Wolverine, and they think he's dead, but he eventually regenerates. But he's just bone, isn't the more adamantium. So it doesn't seem like that.
Find out that he did pull it out.
Yeah.
So we didn't see him recover in the last episode.
Yeah, I don't know, because it seemed like Professor X stopped him before he got to that point. Is what it looked like to me, but maybe I'm wrong. And I was a little bit. They have so many little cameos, but that didn't mean anything. Like they saw Spider-Man and Captain America and all these things. I kind of wish I would have preferred to have like one or two actual characters with some sort of role, rather than just like a visual look at all of these different characters. Like that didn't do anything in the story. But I mean, overall, those are pretty minor quibbles. Like I said, it's a Saturday morning cartoon, and for what it is, I mean, they did a great job. It's very, very respectful of the material, and I think as far as just great adaptation from X-Men comic to screen, it's probably the best I've seen as far as like just 100% faithful comic to screen. This is the best you're gonna do. This is the best you're gonna see.
I tend to agree with Jubal. My big critique would be Professor X.
Right.
I think I was telling Jubal, because I do think that it is a continuation of the prior series why he was up there. But the whole thing was he was up there to get healed, and it was like once you were healed, your ass should have came back.
Right.
And so as much as I say that Magneto turned into his own Hitler, right? So was Trask, right? So was Trask had his own final solution. And so you had these two kind of Hitler types who thought the only way was to have a war with each other and either get rid of all the humans or get rid of all the mutants. And you had this person, Professor X, who understood one of the people, Magneto, inside and out, and could get this person to calm down, and felt like get this person to calm down, that the people would chill out too. I'm sorry, bro, that's way more important than your fucking happiness. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's like your whole thing has been about this dream of mutant and human relations and stuff like that. And
so it felt like he was running away.
Yeah, you were running away from it, and you're gonna just go fall in love. And I know, like, it's very like, oh, we live in a time where nothing's more important than your happiness. People are like, go get a divorce if you need to go, but whatever. Like, everything's about you. No, there are certain things that are more important than you. And the genocide of either humans or mutants is more important than you fucking some bird chick in space. Sorry, not
well,
like put it.
It's not even that hot.
Right.
Right. Stick it back in your fucking pants and get back to work, because you're the only person that can talk this motherfucker down.
Right.
And if you fuck out, these guys, Trask, as was no longer like as relevant anymore, and Senator Kelly has already become onto your side.
Mhm.
So you've made some strides. So finish off the job, dude. What the fuck?
Right.
So it's like, no, when do I get to be happy? Hey, dude, maybe never. How about that? Maybe this is just your life's fucking work, is to like make sure 1 billion people don't die.
Right.
And guess what?
That's
Okay.
more important than your happiness.
More important than your happiness. Sorry, not sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
You
Any final words? Anybody got any?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Not to cut anybody off. I got a question. This is an honest question. Is Magneto's helmet made out of vibranium, or is that in a different world?
No, same world. I don't know what it's made out of. That's a good question.
That's a good question. I don't know what's made out
Mueller,
of.
you know what it's made out of, Alex?
It's made out of can't read mindsium.
Oh,
That's
he
right.
had a helmet to protect himself from Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I didn't even no,
That's what it's
right
for.
now.
So that kind of leads into my question here. This is an honest question.
Okay, I got it.
Uh-oh.
Magneto's helmet is made of any strong metal he has available, which he reshapes at the molecular level to
Leave it off.
protect his mind from telepathic ability.
Oh, okay.
So he realized the molecules,
The molecules keep out the psychic ability, not
Right.
the helmet.
and he's living off the land.
So why do they need a helmet? You could just put like a frying pan over his head or something. It's like, it'll do the same thing.
Pure aesthetics.
Well, so that was like, it was actually pretty clever when he put his own helmet on Professor X, because that prevented Professor X from like doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So my question here is, when Magneto and Xavier were at the bar having coffee in the memory that Charles was creating, was that a real memory? Was that something that really happened between the two of them, or was this completely fabricated by Charles? And the only reason I'm asking that is because of the dialogue between them, when it was like, "Are you? I don't know. Are you? Maybe. Are you? Bitch, you could read minds. You could read minds. There is no fucking way you've been friends with this guy for 20 years and don't know he's a mutant."
Okay, so yes, I do think that was real dialogue, and that seems to be kind of a thing with Charles Xavier. Like, he doesn't read someone's mind unless he has like real cause to do it, and he it's just kind of, it's a MacGuffin, right? It's like,
Yeah,
we're supposed to believe that this guy has this much fucking willpower, that he can read minds, and he's just not fucking doing it constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He came up with this like this oath to himself to not do it later in life.
Right.
There's no
Right.
way he did it when he was younger.
Right.
But I think
that.
you could also look at that conversation as like, yeah, he knows that Magneto is a mutant, but he's trying to get Magneto to admit it. Right? So
Okay,
that
but you know he knew what he was getting for Christmas every year. You know he did.
True that.
But I think he's better than us type of thing. Like, because we're all sitting there like, oh, fucking, I would hella fucking figure out what I was getting for Christmas or whatever. And he would just never do that because he's just so
He's a paragon.
beautiful.
He's a paragon.
He's a paragon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
except when it comes to getting his dick wet, evidently he can. When it comes to getting his dick wet, then he could just turn his back on humanity and mutant kind alike,
right,
and just be like, "Think for yourself. I gotta fucking pasteurize some eggs and shit." So,
Hey, speaking of the Shi'ar, did anybody else think that the Shi'ar Queen? Maybe nobody's seen this, but anybody ever see that old cartoon Silverhawks?
Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
that's
Dude,
old.
As soon as she popped on the screen, I instantly went back to Silverhawks for some reason.
I mean,
I don't
now
know.
that you said it, I can't unsee it.
Right. Wow. Good one. All right. Well, anything else before we close it up? No? Okay.
Madam Web sucks.
Madam Web sucks. Don't watch it. X-Men 97 is good. We all watched it except for Gus, who has the helmet.
Gus is still taking Magneto.
That's right.
I'm still like, you know what? Like, okay, you can't have the two species can't coexist. I don't care. I don't give a shit. It doesn't work.
Maybe that's the ultimate outcome.
It is tough because, you know, because how do you tell like regular people? Because at one point, again, Jubal and I were talking about this. They throw this file on fucking the president's desk, and they're like, ooh, they got a file on Magneto. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. He just stopped the planet. Like, that's a pretty big deal. The file on him should be this big. Not only should there have been a file on him, why doesn't Iron Man have like a Magneto Buster armor?
Right.
Like, why doesn't he already have some kind of plastic?
It's aluminum. He's aluminum man.
Right. Right.
Well, like he's a genius.
Right.
Why doesn't he have some kind of armor that he could have gone to Asteroid M and actually done something besides sit next to the fucking president while Asteroid M is plummeting into space, watching it going, well, I guess we're the dinosaurs now. Burr, 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 burr. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you live next to a species where one dude can turn your planet off, and you're just supposed to sit there and be like, well, I hope he doesn't.
Right.
Can't we be buds?
You know?
Can't we be buds? Have a cold
Can
one.
we be buds?
No, man. And
No, I think I think that's a fair assessment, right? I think in that Tony Stark should have a suit made out of old motherboards that is plastic and that he could use to whoop Magneto's ass if he needs to, you know. So, yeah, it should happen.
Super hard plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and can we stop sending Wolverine after Magneto?
I know, right?
For that.
I know it. All right.
Like,
All right.
Probably will now.
We could probably keep going for a while, but let's wrap this up. We're gonna call it. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and watch X-Men '97, but don't watch Madam Web. Peace out.